We live, people. Deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I'm actually sitting on the microphone, people, or the headphones. I don't actually need the headphones. I just like them in, people. They've become part of this set, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you guys. But like I just said, I hope you all will well and safe. It's morning times over here in the UK. Well, it really depends. It's late morning, early afternoon, early noon. 11:30. Do we class that as the morning over here, UK folks? I do, but when I was working, someone told me that that's technically the afternoon. So whatever you think it is, accord this appropriate greetings. I hope you've all got a spring in your step. I know I have. Obviously, the day after the night before is always good when Arsenal win, and I'm not sitting here and dissecting the game further with you guys and saying, yo, this happened, that happened. If this happens, then that happens. And it could have been that yesterday. It could have been that when Lacazette initially didn't score his opportunity within the first 3 minutes, and obviously Southampton went and done their thing in that regards, people. So yeah, first things first, people. I'm sure you've all seen in relation to Odegaard, the official announcement has been made. But just before I go and browse that, because I can see you lot in the comments, people, I'm sure you've all seen the hype very early on in that his shirt has been up for sale, people, on Arsenal.com in the early hours. So big up to Kaya Kanak, forgive me for mispronunciations, but him and a lot of people that live in Q8 were initially saying that, yo, his loan signing's been announced. As you see, you can buy the number 11 shirt for 76 quid. I don't know who, definitely not me. You know, I want Ødegaard to be good, but he's here for 6 months. £76 for 6 months. Is it a best return? Probably not, in my humble opinion, but I'm sure there will be people that buy it. Obviously, he's taking over Mesut Ozil's number, and it still allows us to have speculation in regards to, oh, what are we going to sign a number 10? I know every time personally when Bukayo Saka tweets or makes a comment and Jack Grealish makes a subtweet or comments on his post, I always give myself the idea that we're keeping that 10 shirt free for Jack Grealish. A man can dream, people. So yeah, Odegaard's here for 5 or 6 months. If you want to get that shirt, 76 quid. And, you know, I hope that, you know, Arsenal get some more Scandinavian fans and that sort of region returning. Obviously, different countries, but we've had Lundberg and players like that. You know, at least we return to similar sorts. Apparently, it's been officially announced on Arsenal.com. So let's take a quick trip to Arsenal.com, people, real quick. What? I see something there about Odegaard joined or something. Did you not see that? Yeah. So let's not get too gas, because at the end of the day, you know, we got him on some Bright House thing, really and truly. We ain't got him permanently. But as you lot can see, Odegaard's been officially announced. He's joined Arsenal on loan. Looking at it, you know, the official Arsenal.com has said the Norwegian international is Martin Ødegaard is joining us from Real Madrid on loan for the remainder of the season, so for 5 or 6 months. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. 108 of you here within the first opening minutes. I really appreciate you guys, people. Like it said, we are delighted to welcome Martin to the club until the end of the season. I would like to thank everyone at Real Madrid and Martin's representatives for their collaboration in making this loan move happen. Martin is an exceptional talent, and we are strengthening our squad by introducing an exciting offensive player to the club for the remainder of the season. So initially, I'm gassed on him because obviously it shares the creative workload. I still think even Ødegaard isn't enough in a sense of he's not going to be the Messiah in the same way Partey came and he's shown his quality, but he's not going to lock it down by himself defensively, or Gabriel isn't going to change all our fortunes in an attacking sense. I don't think one single man can make us, you know, creative, you know, the consistent sort of creative. Like yesterday against Southampton, in the right way, you know, it looked like 5 or 6 of us could create a goal. You know, Pepe looked dangerous. Saka, Lacazette was about. Xhaka obviously was involved. That's what we need. We need consistent movement. We need consistent players, you know, because very quickly, if it's a thing where, like you're seeing with Smith Rowe, teams will start to mark out the Odegaards, the Smith Rowes, like you saw previously with Ozil, you know. So we need creativity from other areas, but I'm happy for the signing. First and foremost, it shares the creative burden of Smith Rowe. It gives Smith Rowe a bit of competition. Not that I think he needs it because, you know, he's playing games, but just in case if he did get complacent, there's somebody there. Obviously, you know, Smith Rowe came off injured, so we're hoping Ødegaard can kind of share the burden. Again, I'm not too sure if he'll be involved against United. I'd imagine he'd be on the bench, probably a bit of an ask for him to start. Although with Smith Rowe's fitness at this moment in time being touch and go, we never actually know. He might actually. I think it's naive to expect him to start against Manchester United straight away, but who knows? Obviously, we need to. For me, when I think of Odegaard, he's got to hit the ground running. Obviously, he's coming to a new league, adaptation needed, new team, new manager, way of playing. All of these things are relevant, people. But at the same time, we can't really afford for that because he's not here for 5 or 6 years. He's here for 5 or 6 months. So again, I think he needs to hit the ground running. And for him, he needs to hit the ground running. For Ødegaard, let's be honest, this is a relationship of convenience, Arsenal Football Club and Ødegaard. I'm sure he respects Arsenal and knows what we're on. I know we obviously know what a talent he is, but let's be real. He's only here because Real Madrid, he's not in there thinking, whether it's the manager or the people above him. That's not me being critical. That's a fact. So what I mean by that is it's a marriage of convenience. He comes here, hits the ground running, plays to an exceptional standard to where it looks idiotic that he was allowed to leave Real Madrid in the first place. Obviously, hopefully, if he plays well, dominates the tempo of game, shows his creativity, gets goals and assists, that should correlate directly with getting results and Arsenal moving up the table. We're 4 points clear at this moment in time, 4 points off Chelsea, and that they've got a game today. So yeah, we're picking up form at the right time, and hopefully Ødegaard can do that. I want, similar to what I was demanding when we signed Ceballos, I want Ødegaard to come here and say, listen, I'm showing you how it's done. I want to see a Real Madrid sort of player surrounded by normal players, if that makes sense. That's no disrespect. I just want to see his talent. And for him, obviously, if he doesn't hit the ground running or he doesn't have a good loan spell, people can turn around and say, oh, well, this is why you weren't playing at Madrid. So hopefully he can hit it off. And welcome to the club, Ødegaard, our new number 11. As we know, I don't need to. It's not like you don't know who Odegaard is. You've seen what he's on at Sociedad. He's a very creative player, can play between the lines, can break the lines, can carry a ball, can press, can play as well as a cam, can play, obviously, as an inverted creative player off the wide area. So he gives Arteta more options. And for me, that's good. We'll get on to Pepe in a second, but Pepe on the left. Do we go with Pepe? No, you've got to go with Martinelli. No, Aubameyang's got to get in the team. Is it Aubameyang or Lacazette up front? You can't get rid of Laka because of what he showed yesterday. No, you need to bring in Aubameyang. Is it Pepe or is it Saka on the left? Or do you move Saka and bring in Odegaard so Smith Rowe can play? Or do you drop Smith Rowe out and just go with one creator? Or do you play Smith Rowe and Odegaard? I think it might be naive, unless it's a game where, we're playing West Brom or something where it's bare attack, where they're sitting back. I think it's naive to probably expect Ødegaard or one of Ødegaard or Smith Rowe to partner Partey, and then obviously, one of them who's not partnering him in the pivot to be in the 10. So he gives us options. And for me, we need options. We haven't really got depth. We ain't really got a certified starting 11 that we as fans can say, they can get top 4 and beyond. And we all know, like you've seen, when a couple players aren't at it or we've got injuries, you see a drop off in quality. Not so much yesterday, but generally. So hopefully Ødegaard can take to his new temporary club faster sooner than later. And I'm happy to have it. And I'm happy that it's over as well in terms of our pursuit, because fans have been tracking planes. Realized his notification. He's been in London. We've been waiting for the last 2 days, 48 hours for some announcement. We thought it was happening on Monday. We thought we'd seeing it on Tuesday. It's happened today, and it's a good couple hours for Arsenal fans. We won last night. Obviously, Ødegaard's come. We heard Mikel Arteta logically was a big reason for him coming. I mean, naturally, if you're not playing at your current team in Real Madrid, and you're being linked with loan moves, logically you're going to speak to a manager in it. If the manager's giving you iffy signals, why would you go somewhere else? So it's kind of common sense. But Mikel Arteta himself has said it's great that we've secured Martin to come to us until the end of the season. And before I carry on, this is where I need to see Edu pull his finger out now, because don't get it twisted. I applaud the club for getting rid of the dead wood, to put it nicely, in this market. Obviously, we brought in Ødegaard, we brought in a backup keeper who was better than Runarsson. I can't really complain. And I think we're taking steps in the right direction. You're right, my guy, man. People were even texting Donny's dad. But like I was saying, it's a step in the right direction for me. But the cynics, or when I look at it, like I said, on one hand, I think it's we're doing good. But when I look at it, I can't help but feel the feeling of reactive. You're going for Ødegaard right now, because you couldn't get someone in the summer? Did you do your due diligence in the build up to the summer? Once that window closed in October, and it became abundantly clear we weren't getting creative men, did we lay the groundwork towards getting a creative man in January? Which on one hand, I could say you've brought in Odegaard, I could say yes, but as we know, he's not permanent. Now, if we're doing the Odegaard thing and the Matt Ryan thing for 5 or 6 months to buy ourselves some time while we, field other offers, and maybe, these men will come on loan, we'll get a different backup goalie or a different creative man, in the summer when we're able to obviously make more moves, then fair play. But this is where I need to see the club pull their fingers out. I need to see us learning from hindsight. Odegaard is only here on a temporary basis. I'm sure that as well as he plays and things like that, we'll speculate in relation to if we're going to make him permanent. And obviously, I want us, if he does play well, naturally, I want us to have that conversation about keeping the guy on a permanent basis. But at the end of the day, there's no option to buy. So we've got to consider variables. Yeah, I'm sure Real Madrid will give us a chat if they do say they want to sell him. Apparently, they want Mbappe and need to sell people. He could be a casualty of that. I'm sure they'll sit down and talk. But if I'm Real Madrid, let's just say he's worth 30 million right now, and he's not really, his name's not ringing as much bells as it was a year ago when he was doing his thing at Sociedad. Let's just say he comes to Arsenal, he hits it off, he gets all the plaudits. That's going to do well for him and well for us, obviously, but that's going to drive his price up. So they might sit there and say, you know what? You can't get him for 30, you got to get him for 50. And that's where Arsenal have a decision to make. That is why, for me, regardless of this signing, regardless of this signing, I do think we need to be looking for another creative man, whether that's a traditional 8 or if Arteta wants a 10. If we can sign Ødegaard permanently, great. But he could very well, in an ideal world, I'm sure he comes, he shows his quality, F's off back to Real Madrid, and we're left short. So regardless, I don't want to see foot off the gas, because again, as much as I think it's good work, people might sit here and say, do you know what? It's business as usual. You don't get praise for righting your wrong. So, and obviously for Odegaard, hopefully he's under no illusion. He knows there's going to be a lot of speculation on him. He knows he joins midway through a season, which is notoriously a difficult time to join anyways. So yeah, man, he again, and I think he's shown courage, because he could have stayed at Real Madrid. He could have probably, went to Sociedad where he had some praise. In fact, he took a difficult job in that, he's joining the Premier League mid-season again at a team that of late were performing, but we're not really performing, not that Real Madrid was. So I like the risk taking him, and hopefully he can play well. We know he's number 11. Not sure what relevance that has, but fair play to you, my guy. Moving away from that, Arteta himself said it's great that we've secured Martin to come to us until the end of the season. Martin is, of course, a player that we all know very well, and although still young, he's been playing at a top level for a while. Martin will provide us with some offensive options, and we're all excited to be integrating him into our plans between now and May. Facts. And again, kind of going back to my previous point. Going back to my previous point, people, I've lost my trail of thought because someone in the comments. I've actually lost my trail of thought, I can't lie. But yeah, moving on and forgetting that comment, people. Like I said, I just want to see us be a bit proactive. And again, that's my point. It's come back to me. I'm not belittling this signing. I'm just saying I need to see him hit the ground running. But regardless of if this man is going to stay permanent or not, we need to have other plans, because in a simple sense, again, I'm not criticizing the signing. I think we could have done a lot worse. But was we being proactive in his signing, or was it a sort of thing where, like Runnison, like Matt Ryan, they've kind of got one foot out the door at their previous clubs? Odegaard weren't getting football. I'm sure Real Madrid, in times of COVID, they'll take any pounds they can get. They've got 2.5 million or something out of nowhere, really. For his loan signing. So let's hope he can hit the ground running. We all know, I'm not going to read this all out, but we know he's gone on loan to Vitesse. He didn't have the best of loan spot. He had a good loan spot at Vitesse, didn't really have a good loan spot at Hervé. He's been on the scene since 15, 16 years of age. He feels like a veteran, but he arrives a 22-year-old who has played 25 times for Norway. Obviously, he's played for Real Madrid, and he's one of his country's, if not his country's youngest debutant at 15 years of age. He'll wear the 11 shirt. And obviously, the loan agreement is subject to the completion of legal and regulatory processes. So dotting I's and crossing T's. There's 300 of you locked in, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. How's there only 96 likes when there's 300 odd in there? Come on, man, patting off the ratio. So it is in that regards. We've spoken about, you can get Odegaard's shirt. That was made available shortly before the official announcement. So that's that. You know, let's close Odegaard's statement here. Let's close that. I'm sure you've all seen Opta. You know, again, I'm sure you've all seen this, but I thought it'd make a good read for you guys, just so we can kind of see the player that we're getting. As you lot can see, big up Stats Perform, or Opta as I just referred to them as. They've done a little piece on Odegaard, people, as you can see here. It says, it's been widely reported that Arsenal be welcoming Real Madrid's attacking midfielder Martin Odegaard on loan in the coming days. So what could he bring to the Gunners? He had a very productive loan spell at Real Sociedad last season, helping them to place sixth place finished, with 7 goals and 9 assists in all competitions. In league competition alone, he led the rankings at Sociedad in 2019-20 for chances created, successful passes in the opposition's half, and expected assists. Now, first and foremost, we know we're down to our bare bones, really and truly. You know, Pepe is quite high for statistics, and he's had a mixed season. We've had an over-reliance on Saka and Smith Rowe in terms of creativity, Lacazette of late as well. So Odegaard can first and foremost help with the creative burden. You know, first and foremost, away from, obviously, I want him to get goals and assists. I need my creative man to get goals and assists. But away from the statistics, I want him to dominate the game, really. Get the ball, you know, off your centre halves or off your midfielders in Xhaka, and look to break the lines consistently. You know, when I look at players like Odegaard, the first thing I think of is courage. I need to see you in difficult moments doing that. And again, it should boost the rest of the side, because although he might not necessarily correlate with wide men, one more attacker makes it difficult for a next man to play on the field. You know, we're talking about, as I just said, you know, Pepe on the left based off last game. Martinelli deserves it. Saka's played there as well as on the right. Aubameyang's been shifted there. You know, you've had Lacazette in the 10 role. Just if you wanted to play Aubameyang and Lacazette, you know, no, you can't do that because it means Smith Rowe and Odegaard. There's competition for places now. So the likes of Joe Willock and Willian, and Reece Nelson even, they've got to buck up their ideas, as well as the other ones that are playing on a regular basis. And competition can only be healthy for people. You know, and he's 22 years of age as well, so he ties into the philosophy of what we're doing. Expected assists, you know, he's in good company. He's there. He's only behind, you know, big up Dwight McNeil actually, but he's only behind Jadon Sancho, Mbappe, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And at the time, the 3 ahead of him are playing in significantly better teams than Sociedad, with all due respect. Last season, top 5 in the top 5 Euro leagues for chances created. He's only behind some flag bearers. You know, Kulusevski's gone off to Real Madrid. I mean, man said Real Madrid, Juventus. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold last season he was doing his thing. Jadon Sancho's a baller, and you have Tonali. So again, he's in good company with 62 chances created in La Liga last season, a tally that only 4 of his age group managed, more than across the top 5 leagues, people. When it came to expected assists, he was joint 4th best in the league. Well, I don't really look at expected assists. I just want to look at actual assists, people. Net possession value leaders, he's top. So I guess this statistic, and this is who we should be looking to buy. This Odegaard, he's hard. Isak's a baller as well, and he's finding his feet at Sociedad after a tough time at Dortmund. But again, possession, I wonder what this statistic in itself means. This probably means for me he's less likely to lose the ball, but apparently Odegaard was the most impressive Sociedad player in 2019-20 with regards to PV as stats. Okay, apparently these look at the action a player makes and measures the likelihood that their team will score within the next 10 seconds without needing an actual shot to be taken. Okay, he created a lot of danger whilst also limiting his negative contribution. His net PV was 0.32 in 2019-20, and his biggest contributor was his passing, 0.27, which saw him top Real Sociedad's ranking last season. So again, we need people good in creative positions, good with the ball and whatnot. So this is what we need. We also, again, like I said at the start of this, he's a good ball player, but you need people. You need people who can carry a ball. Apparently, the Norwegian is also a proficient player at carrying the ball. In La Liga, he's eighth most in the competition, and he scores the highest amongst his previous teammates at Sociedad. He embarked on 40 ball carries overall, with a shot involvement of 19 chances and 21 shots. Again, only 6 players in La Liga had more. You know, Mesut Ozil's got a bag of stats like this, so I don't want to read too much into it, but I'm excited to see him on a temporary basis, really. And for me, it's not that I'm going to judge him harsher than other players, people. Apologies, ignore what I'm doing. It's not that I'm going to judge him harsher. It's just I kind of have to, because he's not here for the long term. You know, I can't really sit here and say give him time and all of these things. I'm not saying be on his back, but I need Odegaard to deliver sooner rather than later, because again, we ain't got time for adaptation, really and truly. We give him a healthy sort of break and things like that, but at the same time, I think we need more. I think, if we was to bring in another traditional sort of 10 like Odegaard on a permanent basis with Smith Rowe, I would like us to go for less of an 8.5 or more of an 8, potentially also a 6. Horseplay, I don't think stats lie. I just think without context, it doesn't mean much. For me, we already know in it. We know Odegaard's a good player. We know technically he's got a good passing range, can hit set pieces, can carry a ball. He's a creative player playing for Real Madrid, signed at 16 years of age. I expect you to have that. And obviously we know he's got ability, but at the end of the day, variables are different. It doesn't really mean anything until he signs for this club. What I like about him is, again, from a young age, again, he's gone on loan to Holland. So what I see by that is he's not afraid to be out of his comfort zone. He's not afraid to leave countries or teams he's comfortable in. So that's half the job. Again, hopefully we can play to his strengths, because again, would we all say we're playing to all our attacking players' strengths? Probably not. But I hope he has a good season. With all due respect to Dani Ceballos, and I think Ceballos has been better than Denis Suarez. But when I look at our last couple of loan signings, I don't think we've got value for money. And technically, we might as well. He's only here on loan, so let's just assume we bought a player for 5 months. That is 2.5 million. I need to see something. I need him to hit the ground sooner rather than later. Arsenal are giving you a platform to play. Of course, he needs to adapt to tactics and things like that. But once you're fit and you're ready, nothing should stop you. Of course, I know he hasn't played too much football, so there's probably a lot of ring rust. Again, we might have to temper our immediate expectations on him. He's probably not fit enough to play, but he needs to get that rhythm and stuff so he can really do his thing. So we'll have to see. But I'm happy he's here. It's as simple as that. I'm really happy he's here. We'll see where we can go in relation to Dani Ceballos. Ødegaard. So let's see what happens. And obviously, he's got a lot. I don't know his level of Spanish. He is Norwegian, but he's lived at Real Madrid. He's lived in Spain, so he must have a decent level of Spanish. He's got Ceballos. He's got Arteta. He's got players he can lean upon. We all know football is an international language, so the language you speak isn't really relevant, but you get where I'm going in that regard. So yeah, man. Welcome, Odegaard. Welcome to the club, Odegaard. Hopefully it's a prosperous loan. What are you lot saying? Please make sure you're hitting the comments section, people. It is a rental, but it is what it is, man. We're just going to have to stunt in this rental, man. Jay has said, let's hope he hits the ground running. We need that, man. We can't sit here in April and say, yo, what go on for Odegaard? What's he doing? All of this sort of stuff. We ain't got time for that. We need him to hit the ground running. Christian has said, never want to see Willian at Cam. To be fair with you, in the summer, I was willing to. I'm pretty sure nobody expected Willian to be this bad, innit? Like, we all expected he's going to be a frustrating player. He's not going to get too many goals and assists. It's a bit bewildering in terms of age, but at worst, you've got an experienced player who should be able to not light the world a light in terms of goals, but do a lot. And I'm not going to lie, we wasn't looking to get a 10. Smith Rowe weren't near the picture, so I'm not going to lie. I was saying, in fact, I was saying it then. I was saying, you know what? You've got to play Ozil, or you've got to play Smith Rowe, or you've got to play Willian in their roles. They were the three man we was kind of leaning to. Now, Smith Rowe's gone from strength to strength. Ozil's kept it moving from this football club, and we brought in Odegaard on a temporary basis. So I share with you, Willian should not be playing at the 10 in the 10 role. In fact, Willian's football should be marginalized. Arteta seems to really love him, and I kind of, I admire that Arteta hasn't given up on him, man. He still wants him to play, but I just feel while Arteta's been at this club, that same standing by a player that Willian's been afforded to, I don't think other players have. Now, again, I don't know what these players' personalities are like, because, he's getting a reaction out of Pepe based on the last few games, I believe, with exception to the Southampton one on Saturday, where I think Pepe wasn't as bad as people are making out. So maybe how he's dealing with Pepe is to get a different reaction, because we don't know. Willian does seem a bit of a confidence player. I never want to see Willian play for Arsenal again, because I don't think he should be here. But at the same time, when he plays, I'll back him, and hopefully he can fix up. Like I said earlier, it's another attacking player. Only so many attackers can be on the bench and on the field. So it might not be, I'm a winger, you're a creative player, I got nothing to worry about. According to what happens, things get shifted. Aubameyang doesn't play through the middle for us too tough. Him being put on the left has consequences for other people if you're not doing your job. Simple as that. Like Cameron said, big up all the members. He said we need him, can't rely on Smith Rowe. And we might even see Smith Rowe develop even more now without that sort of pressure. I think he's taking it in his stride. But again, it's got to be healthy sort of thing. So yeah, man, big up Odegaard to the club. What are you lot saying? Vegas said, big up yourself, DG, aka North London's finest. I appreciate you, my guy. That guy has said, broski, I'll be so real. These United fans are bantering our club and it's getting me mad. What chances do you think we have going into this game? Well, I don't know, man. We'll save the United one for tomorrow and in the build-up, so I don't really know. hopefully we have a decent game. I think United, you know, you always have a chance against United, but you know, they'll always have a chance against us. Like, we're going to tactically review the game in a bit, but when I look at United, they're one of the best counter-attacking teams, if not have a claim to be the best counter-attacking team in the league. For all their criticisms about their defense and their midfield, you know, against Southampton, we was very open. If you do that against Greenwood, Martial, Rashford, Pogba, Bruno, these guys will cause problems. So we'll have to cover that game there, man. Junior has said, does he even deserve the number 11? I don't think so. I'd rather have someone like Martinelli have it, because we know in 4 or 5 years, same with Saka and the number 7. Well, my guy, I think you've got to place your anger elsewhere, because again, it's very unlikely Martinelli or Saka were going to change their numbers mid-season. You know, at best, on paper right now, Odegaard's only going to be here for a year. Well, a year's even reaching 5 months, so it is what it is in that regards. I think it's something of nothing. Smith Rowe or Martinelli for number 10 next season. If we do not bring in Grealish or somebody else, then Smith Rowe might as well take that, in my opinion. I'd rather Martinelli get that number 9, really. I'm not going to lie, man. And that's me, man. You know, like Kareem has said, I'm not going to get too hyped about Odegaard, because at the end of the day, he's a Real Madrid player. We don't have an option to buy. Same, you know, I'm only gassed because we've addressed an area right now where it could make us stronger. So I'm happy for that. I want to see him hit the ground running, but I'm also a bit cautious because, you know, I don't think Ceballos has hit the ground running. I don't think he set the world alight at Arsenal in the vein I thought he would. So I've kind of tempered my expectations with Odegaard. You know, I'm wait and see thing sort of thing. You know, South London's finest has said Odegaard said Cesc was one of his idols growing up. I don't know if that's signing for a new club PR or that's genuine. Either way, that's a good look, really. Big up yourself, my dude. By far the best football channel on YouTube. I appreciate that, and hopefully I can continue to, you know, keep up those high standards for you, my guy, man. So it is what it is in relation to Odegaard, people. You know, we'll get onto the tactical review in a bit. And, you know, Pepe looked very good on the left-hand side, people. We'll get onto it in a sec. What else are you lot saying? Garcia is not physical enough. Yeah, man. You know what? That will take us into the next one. A man said you'll never be able to sign Grealish. You know, we all know that, but a man can dream, and it's just humor. Don't take it too seriously, my guy. Let's calm down. I don't know what comment this means, but you know what other people are doing or what's happening on their channel is nothing to do with man. A man said, "Are you gonna do Liverpool versus Spurs watch along?" Maybe, but I'm not gonna promise anything. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. What else have we? Like Joshua said, healthy competition never hurts anybody. You know. Let me share the screen again with you guys, people. Add to screen. No, not the Google Notes. Not yet. We've been linked with Eric Garcia again now. I think it's was. You know, we've been linked with him. Obviously, I don't mind him coming to the club. I'd rather more experienced centre half, but he is a talented young lad. Arteta did work with him when he was, you know, with Pep Guardiola at City and whatnot. It does appear like he's rubber stamped to go to Barcelona. So I don't really think, you know, it's any surprise that you're seeing Arsenal and a couple of teams linked with Garcia today. But for what it's worth, apparently Arsenal are set to rival Barcelona for the signature of Manchester City defender Eric Garcia. He's set to leave at the end of the season when his contract is up. As you lot know, so far the 21-year-old has turned down these deals put ahead of him, and he's keen to move on, people. According to Spanish outlet Mundo Deportivo, Arteta is also keen on the youngster. So we'll have to see, but I think he can agree a pre-move right now in January. He has to wait to the end of the season to directly do so with a Premier League team. I do think he's a good ball player. He's very much the new centre half. You know, I think he kind of struggles a bit physically and his positioning. I like him, but you know, if we're going to bring in someone, surely it should be someone better than what we have. I'm always going to be open to young players and things like that. Shout out to Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Lukaku yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you all saw that. So in relation to Ødegaard, that's that. In relation to Garcia, that's where we're at in relation to Garcia. What's this here, people? I don't know what article this is. Apparently, you know, a left back. I'm sure you've all seen we've been linked with Amavi. I think this is a genuine article, people. So let's get out of here. Amavi Arsenal, you know, former Aston Villa guy. I can't spell his name. Bro, Arsenal left back. Here it is, people. Well, this ain't the best newspaper this ain't the best website to go on, but this is the first one. Apparently we're looking at Jordan Amavi. Today I've actually seen the 26-year-old apparently is going to Leeds United, but he's been linked with us, he's been linked with Villa again, he's been linked with Leeds, he's been linked with a whole host of teams. And obviously him being a left back, 26-year-old, contract running out in the end of the season, maybe a cut price move this year, there's something we could do, people. Again, he could be a backup. As we know, Maitland now, Cedric, these guys can be put at left back, and Cedric did very well against Southampton in the game in the FA Cup. He kind of struggled. Maitland now struggled in his last appearance against Crystal Palace, but has also put in performances at left back. So it's a bit hot and cold from everybody. Can we get an out and out left back? To be fair with you, they're all better than Kolasinac, so to be fair. But for what it's worth, as you lot can see here, or can we actually click on this article? Yes, we can. So now we can get into the thick of it, people. Apparently, as you can see, L'Equipe is saying a trio of clubs, or trio of clubs, have made contact with the 26-year-old. They've been trying to negotiate an exit, and Crystal Palace have shown the most interest so far, but Arsenal and Napoli have also made contact. So I think that's all there is in relation to that one there, people. Big up you lot for being locked in. I want to show you lot something in relation to a former Arsenal player as well. It's a bit of a serious topic, and he's a bit of a wrong'un, Tyrell Robinson. But before we get on to that, what are you lot saying? If Pepe had Willian's run of games, he might not have taken his chances. He might very well have taken his chances. So I agree, man. That's one luxury. There's one luxury that Pepe didn't get. I would have liked to have seen that. Colin has said, does he start ahead of Smith Rowe? I think Odegaard starts ahead of Smith Rowe, but he's got to earn it. Smith Rowe deserves to keep his place in the team. Initially, Odegaard's going to have to show that he can perform in training and all of those sort of things. And when he gets his chance, take it. But I think right now, Smith Rowe's to lose personally. He's all right. He's all right. Is that competition or is that depth? It's a bit like Bellerin. Bellerin didn't really have anybody at this club that's challenging him at right back properly historically. There's a golfing class, and you're just relying on Tierney's professionalism. It's a bit like Leno. Of course, you're never going to get a number 2 on Leno's case, but there was too much of a golfing class between Runnison and Leno. Obviously, I still think there's a golfing class between Matt Ryan and Leno, of course, but you lot can read between the lines. I don't need to further keep explaining things. Big up you lot that are locked in, people. I appreciate you guys each and every time. So, DG, are you happy with the signing? As I've said several times, I'm happy with the temporary signing of Odegaard. But beyond that, there's not too much to scream and shout. He's not our player. I want him to hit the ground running. I'm gonna have to kind of judge him on harsh standards, really and truly. Man said, should I sub? You can sub if you want. No one's got a gun to your head. No one's begging no one for nothing. Big up yourself, Henson. Taking in my show at your place of work. I really appreciate that, my guy. I really appreciate that. And they're saying DG Deluded is due for another blow up soon. I can feel it. Hopefully, my guy, we keep working until that happens, man. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Auro, Grealish, woof, tough one, man. I'm a big fan of Auro, so I'll probably lean towards Auro a bit more, but we'll leave it at that. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. How are we only at 204 likes, people? It's not good enough, is it? So yeah, people, man, congratulations to Odegaard. And we've done all right in the market. Odegaard on loan, got rid of a bunch of players, got a better backup keeper. It's half decent now. If there's enough time to bring in a left back, it is what it is, man. I don't think Martinelli is overrated by fans. I just think fans do this thing where they don't highlight that a man needs to develop. And I think with Martinelli, especially when there's concerning games or concerning errors, fans kind of shut up about it. I wouldn't say extremely overrated, but fair play. So yeah, people. Well, to be fair, it's not really disrespect. Torreira doesn't own the shirt and Torreira isn't there. So it's a myth, really and truly. Kaya said Cedric Bellerin is actually, Cedric is actually a functioning right back who can defend and go forward. If Tierney is fit for United, Cedric starts on the right for me. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. There's nothing really for me to add on to what you said. Tyler has said, if he performs, do you think we could get Odegaard on a permanent deal in the summer? Maybe. You know, both clubs have said they will speak, but at the end of the day, he plays well. It drives his price tag up, and it makes it more difficult, and it gets other teams. So that's probably why you need that luxury of a buy option. Maybe, you know, Real Madrid will give us a deal in good faith. Obviously, we've had a good relationship in the last couple of years. But if I'm Real Madrid and apparently they need to raise funds and they want to buy Mbappe and clearly they need to rebuild their squad, I'm not going to lie, regardless of what Arsenal relations I've got with Arsenal, money talks. If me and Arsenal have a, let's just say, indirect agreement with Odegaard or his advisors or Real Madrid to say, cool, it's not an offer. I mean, it's not an option officially, but if he does his thing, give us 30 odd million, you can have him in the summer. But let's just say he plays, he gets 10 goals and assists, as unrealistic as it is, 10 goals and assists between now and then. You know, they might say, I know what we said, but right now other teams are interested in him. You know, I know we said 30, you've got to come in it with 50 now. We've got 50 million pound offers from people, sell on clause and the rest of it. Naturally, you're logically going to sell to the highest bidder. It's nothing personal, it's business. Real Madrid don't owe us nothing. We don't owe Real Madrid nothing. You know, same way we didn't owe Atletico Madrid nothing in the way we took Partey off them and whatnot. So it all depends, you know. If he performs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. We'll have to see, man. We've got a super chat here. Appreciate the super chat, my bro. Made in Brooklyn, 1975. Has said, when was the last time Arsenal fans got this excited about a 6-month loan, 5-month now loan? It shows how starved we are of incoming transfer news. I wouldn't say incoming transfer news. I'd just say competent players, really. And it shows how much our expectations are on the floor. I do agree. I think people can be excited, but it's hardly, you know, when we signed Alexis or Rose or Santi, the guy's not ours, really and truly. Like, stunting with a next man's chain, or, you know, I know a lot of you've got older siblings. It's like when you go in their wardrobe and take their clothes and you go out looking all nice, you know it's not your drip deep down, really and truly. A man said, what happens to Smith Rowe now that Odegaard is here? I've got a video coming out on this, but first and foremost, you can obviously force one out wide or play both centrally. You could play both centrally. It could be one of the other. Either way, you know, Smith Rowe coming doesn't have to spell the end for Odegaard. Smith Rowe being in form and it's his hit and it being his place to lose doesn't spell bad news for Odegaard either. You know, it's competition for places, man. So it is what it is. Big up yourself, Nads. What have you said? If we can't buy a certain player, then a decent loan is better than nothing in the meantime. Facts, Nads. And what you're hoping is that, okay, cool, you've bought yourself the luxury of, you've done the business and got someone on a 5-month basis. Are you scouting for that next man? You know, it might not be the Grealish or the Aouars or these unrealistic names. It might have to be someone that plays in the second division in Brazil or something. As long as you've done your scouting and due diligence, then they should work. Are we doing that? You know, this has bought us some time. Come the summer, we need to have somebody permanent here so that we can lay the building blocks. Because as good as Odegaard can be, his first priority is clearly to bust out and go to Real Madrid. Simple as that, if everything works. You know, and I agree with this, you know, Odegaard that might not be fully fit, he's still better than Willian, but I don't want to keep beating a dead horse with a stick. The less said about Willian, the better. We all know he's not a good player, man. But yeah, big up everyone. Please make sure you're hitting the comments section, people. Odegaard won't start, simply a bench option. Arteta knows he's only here for 6 months and Smith Rowe will be here for years to come. I think that's a bit naive. I think Odegaard will have enough chances provided he trains well. I think he will have a significant amount of starts because, again, I'm not signing. Promises are a comfort to a fool, but I'm not signing here if you're telling me I'm going to be a backup to a 20-year-old that's played 5-6 games when I'm trying to do what I need to do. It's not going to make sense. Arnold has said there is no competition for places. There is a first 11 and then there is backup. Look at what happened at Chelsea. Players in the team just because they were signed for big money. Not sure what this means in relation to Arsenal, but fair play, my guy. Big up yourself, Chris. 50, you know, like he said, make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. It's what football fans do. You know, I heard Arsenal fans say, oh, don't sign Arrow, we've got Smith Rowe. That's not a criticism to Smith Rowe. That's just, come on now. There's 38 Premier League games alone. However many much in cups that you advance in. It's not making sense, really and truly. Football's a squad game, man. Moving away from that, though, let's quickly move over to a tactical review very quickly, or look at the last game from a tactical point of view, people. Obviously, I'm alluding to the Southampton game. Please tell me you can hear me in a couple of moments, people. Can you lot still hear me? If no, no jokes. Can you lot still hear me properly, people? Please make sure you're doing that, man. Big up yourself, man. I appreciate you. Please make sure you lot can still hear me. But either way, people, we're cracking on with the tactical review. Now, in relation to Arsenal versus Southampton, some current themes of, you know, in terms of where we can... Yeah, but low. In terms of areas we can improve in, you know, clearly we were a bit open. You know, we were very open in the game at times. You know, we was there on the counter attack. We obviously shot ourselves in the foot, conceding a goal very early on. Obviously, we conceded within the first half an hour, which again, you know, like the last two games against Southampton prior to playing them, it happened. Obviously, it's going to be quieter. People, I've moved the mic, but as long as man can still hear me, they can still hear me. I'm speaking a bit louder. So there are positives we can improve on. But in that game, you saw what we needed to see, people, you know, clinical. For me, in fact, before we talk about, you know, big up Saka, Smith Rowe, Lacazette, Xhaka, Partey, you know, Cedric had a great game. Holding was good. Leno was good. You know, there was a lot of individuals that shone, and it was a collective great performance. But for me, the thing that I was happy about the most is we shot ourselves in the foot going a goal down, but we went a goal down. How many times have you seen Arsenal go a goal down and they concede more? They get into halftime. They might have had more of a fuss of things, but it's still only 1-0. We forgave ourselves for conceding the goal as poor as it is, and we hit back. We never stopped believing. We pressed well. We never stopped believing. So the mentality was there. The hunger was there. We scored some goals. I can't ask anybody for anything more, people, really, really and truly. You know, I think we really, when you look at games like Southampton, again, when you look at the fullbacks, and maybe Hasenhüttl was wishing he didn't play his fullbacks in the FA Cup, but he lost Kyle Walker and Ryan Bertrand, and we made them pay. You know, Vokins put in a lovely cross for Che Adams in one point, but that's all he did. Saka had him on toes. Pepe burnt his man in Valerie. You know, Valerie had that shot that went over, but other than that, Valerie didn't have anything. In fact, it's not Valerie's fault, but Valerie actually loses the ball in the build up to the first goal, people. Now, again, bringing out the good old tactics board, and we're upside down, innit? We're obviously people. I've actually need to go under my bed and get the rest of these. I can actually see them. I need a hook. But anyways, people, as you saw, I'm missing out you know, goalies and that make themselves, you know, the crosses of the goalies. I've tried to exaggerate the team shape. As you lot know, Arsenal, we went with a 4-2-3-1 essentially. They had the 4-4-2, and we know what to expect with them. You know, I think other than yesterday, I think when they tried to press us, unlike Saturday, I think we played our way out of these positions very well. I think Xhaka was good on the ball. Smith Rowe, in hindsight, watching the game again, was good on the ball. When they tried to press us, we won our individual battles. And equally, on the other hand, unlike, you know, we kind of did to them what they did to us. You know, we pressed them very high. You know, we pressed them very high in the game, and we engineered their mistakes. You saw Lacazette never stopped pressing, and I didn't think he completed 90 minutes purely because he was blowing. Saka had the beating of Jake Vokins whenever he was gone. Obviously, Pepe did his thing. Now, we shot ourselves in the foot because, you know, Lacazette probably should have scored that chance in the first minute. They went and scored in the third. Again, not to scale, but if you say this is our corner, again, not to scale, but just to paint a picture, we had man in the box. We had our man in the box. I'm going to circle this, and I'm going to say this is Pepe, people. Saka's actually there as well. So I'm going to say Saka. And just to make it look prettier, you know, we're going to put some opposition players in the box. But they've had a corner with James Ward-Prowse. Now, we know wherever James Ward-Prowse whips it in, there's a problem, people. But they've worked on it. And I think Pepe did well, but fundamentally, he's lost his man. And I think there's been an improvement with Pepe defensively. But when I look at the away games against Southampton and Everton, he's lost his man too easily at set pieces. And I think that happened again because, again, let's just say this is Armstrong. You know, the balls come in. Armstrong is just chilling on the edge of the area, people. Nobody's looking at him. I think it's Pepe's man. Pepe's not really marking anyone. He's ball watching and he's flat-footed. Saka is there as well. Obviously, the ball eventually comes in. He's not marked. You know, he's made that run. And he's put it in the back of the net. Shell shocked. It's another goal we've conceded from a set piece. And we're in problems in that regards, people, fundamentally. So it's put us in problems. Obviously, with our goals, again, the pressing was well. Like I said, Lacazette missed that chance. And he obviously scored and he pressed well. But I think Lacazette had a quality game. He's involved in two of the goals initially, people. Again, not to scale, but Southampton were having problems whenever we was pressing them, people. Whenever we was pressing them, they had problems. And if you remember, Stevens gets caught. You know, Lacazette simply by pressing him forces him to lose the ball. If you lot remember, Saka's actually recovered it, people. You know, Lacazette's pressed him. Saka's eventually recovered it. If you remember, it's falling into the path of Partey, who's then said, you know what, Xhaka go and get. And Xhaka should have probably had 2 assists before this point. And at this moment in time, you know, Valerie's bust out. Valerie's dropped people, apologies. But at this point, Valerie's effed up because as a fullback, you've got a cover. He's got 2 gassed. And by the time Xhaka plays that ball in behind for Pepe, it's too late, you know. Valerie's not covering, you know. He needs to get back over and tuck in. He doesn't. He leaves the man them exposed. Obviously, Pepe is played in. We hit back very quickly, and Pepe all is forgiven for falling asleep for that goal. It's 1-1 at this moment in time, people. And again, the second goal was also very good. Again, not to scale, and who really cares? But if you lot remember, removing all of this, people, and just focusing on the goalie, let's actually make it look a bit prettier. Let's put the midfielders there. Let's go with our front three again. Let's go with that. If you lot remember initially, people, prior to it, it was actually a good build-up. But if you lot remember, long story short, it's come from Leno into this channel. And I can't remember it all to scale, but we've won our first and second balls. Eventually, the balls fall into Xhaka. You know, a bit of a higher line, to be fair with you. But the balls will eventually fall into Xhaka. He's found Lacazette. And we all know Lacazette's Lacazette is different class with these young players. Him, Smith Rowe, Saka, they've got their understanding is different class. By the time it falls to Lacazette, you already know Saka is on his bike, people. Saka knows. And that's what it's about. It's about being proactive, especially for young players. You're not always going to have the ball to feet and take on 100 man. Sometimes you have to see a picture before it's happened. And you already see it, you know. By the time Laka's got it, he knows what to do. He's played it in behind. Saka's on his bike. He's onside. Saka does his thing. He goes round the keeper. He shows composure. And obviously he puts the ball in the back of the net and does what he needs to do, people, in that regards. You know, again, removing everyone very quickly and just highlighting it. Again, the third goal, thing of beauty, you know, not to scale at all, people. And I do think Southampton centre-halves could have done a lot better. They're not getting close to Saka, and it's too easy for Lacazette. But not to scale, people. Lovely pass from this man, Cedric, over to the switch to Saka. You know, Saka is here. Saka's posted. He's not really marked. Saka knows I've just got to get to the byline and put that ball across. Lacazette, actually in the build-up to it, Lacazette's actually won the ball back and he's given it to Willian, and this process has began, people. But Lacazette's just continued his run. Like any striker, it's not rocket science. Get yourself in the box. Lacazette's just continued his run. Saka shows composure and he knows the thing. Obviously, Lacazette takes a bit of a whack with the post, getting his left foot on it, but Lacazette gets his goal and he's just deserved, people. You know, like I said, the only things in terms of improvement was it was probably a bit too open, you know. And again, you know, on the counter, if Southampton had their shooting boots, they probably should have scored more. Leno made a couple of bad boy saves, as you saw in that game. So probably a bit too open. You know, they scored very early on. We conceded in the first half again. We conceded from a set piece again. These are areas to improve. But other than that, areas that I was very most impressed with, you know, individual players shone collectively. Pepe looked very good on that left-hand side. You know, again, let's use the other side. Obviously, one reason I think with Pepe is his game intelligence. I'm not trying to be rude, but Pepe's got lovely technical ability. You're scared for his in-game intelligence, people. So let's just say this is the right wing. Obviously, when you play on the left, there's less options, people. And I think Cedric playing well helped him as well. I think Cedric playing well helped him as well. I don't think he works with Bellerin. I think Saka and Bellerin work. I think Saka left back and someone else works. But I don't think Pepe works. Now, not to scale, people, of course, let's make this back line a bit smaller and exaggerate it a bit. Well, no, I can't. I don't know why I'm trying to use the other end. Why don't we just use here? I'm actually watching this like a fan. Obviously, when Pepe is on the right, you only have a few decisions you have more options. Obviously, you can take a man on down there. You can drive to the byline and put your right foot at it. Obviously, what we've seen Pepe do, which is hit and miss, you can cut in, which is good. But I feel where Pepe is right now, his confidence is on the floor. So again, you don't really have that clarity. I saw a difference in Pepe on that left. You know, you have less decisions to make. You can cut in, but Pepe's heavily left-footed, so he's not going to swing his right at that, you know. He only has really two options. It's get there, whip or crossing, or make these runs on the inside. Like you saw, if we just say this is Xhaka, you know, he makes a run from out to in and he's played in. this is sort of thing that he could do. And you saw with Pepe, he looked more sure of himself when he was driving with that ball down the flanks. And there was that, I can't put the incidents, but there was at least 2 men in here that, you know, he gave a nutmeg to. But he's got less options. He's, you know, he has to make quicker decisions on the left. You either make a run from out to in and wait for someone to play that pass for you to make the run in and have a shot. You get to the byline, you put a cross in, or you put an early cross in. And like I said, credit to Cedric, because Cedric was there time and time again on the overlap, where when we look at Hector Bellerin, that don't really happen for Pepe. You know, Pepe is typically here. Bellerin rarely makes that overlap. That's why Pepe plays better with Maitland-Niles, because he does. When you're not doing that, you're easier to mark. And again, if we just say these are midfielders, typically you see Pepe crowded out there. So I think Pepe must work defensively as well today. Don't let that go. Yesterday, sorry, don't let that go over your heads. But Pepe's typically marked out of the game. And I just feel Saka's got better relationship with Bellerin if he is going to be in the team. And I think Pepe, you know, one thing he's got is ability. One thing you kind of question is his game intelligence. And until his intelligence gets better, you know, let's give him basic decisions. You know, you have smaller options. And for me, it's good because now, again, I don't want to get gassed off of one game, but it's like, who plays on the left? Is it Pepe? Is it Aubameyang? Is it Martinelli? Do you move Bukayo Saka over there and say move Pepe to the right? Obviously, if Willian even if Willian comes into his own, there could be something in that regards, people. So again, there is a lot of things we could improve in, but I'm happy in the game. I'm happy based on yesterday. We responded well to losing in the FA Cup. We learned from our mistakes, not necessarily set pieces or conceding early goals, but definitely in terms of playing out from the back better and definitely pressing them better. So there was numerous benefits, people. And also, if you remember 4 weeks ago, we were 15th, people, 4 points off relegation, and now we've got 5 wins and a draw, and we're 5 points off the top 4. And that's what we might as well say, we're still at the halfway point. This is what I mean by Arsenal having a bad season is all on them, because again, there's other teams that are better than us. There's other teams that have better individuals. You know, I don't really think there's 5 teams in the top 6 that we're better than. But you know, where you look at where Arsenal were previously, was we behind because or not in the top 4, 6 shouts, whatever, because we was, you know, all these teams are up there and we're behind there? Or is it because we was dropping points? And this is where I look at the players now. The only ones that can stop you from achieving your goals domestically is yourselves, because we will drop points. Everyone is. But it's about minimizing these L's. It's about looking at this run of games we have. Like you see, we got United on Saturday. I don't even know who's after that, but I know we've got Leicester, Wolves, Villa, Benfica across 2 legs. These are a tough period of games. I know that's in the Europa League. It's down to these boys, you know. Because we can sit here as fans and say, if we did this, if we won there, we'd have better points. And that's true. If I was taller, you know, I might be a footballer. If I had facial hair, I might be the hottest male in the planet. In fact, I still am the sexiest on the planet. But you get the point. You know, we can't deal with that. And if we look at some of these L's, there's not too many defeats or points we've dropped where we said we were hard done by. You know, we deserved to drop points against Crystal Palace. We weren't good enough. You know, we got slaughtered against Wolves, Villa, stupid against Spurs away. Obviously, Liverpool and City, you chalk them ones off realistically as an Arsenal fan. But, you know, definitely in relation to both games, there was a bit of a defeative mindset. And the thing is, we can only look back in May, but we kind of have to chase back the points now. So it's down to togetherness, and the more wins we get, the more players perform, and the more competition for places is decent. Again, you know, hopefully Pepe gets confidence, because we're going to need him. You know, hopefully Aubameyang, when he comes back in the team, can continue in his little finding his feet again. Hopefully Lacazette can continue. The Haylem boys, you want everyone playing well. I even want Willian to start playing well. I want to eat humble pie over Willian. I wouldn't sit here and say, yo, Willian, I done you dirty. But it's not looking like such, because I care about my football club. And the more players we've got performing, the better half a chance we have at claiming something. So that's me in relation to the tactical review, people, reviewing things from a tactical point of view. So yeah, big up yourselves, everybody locked in. Big up yourself, T. Sounding excellent as usual. Obviously, I have to move the mic. So when I'm doing that, you know, we ain't got the interactive software and all those things yet. By God's grace, one day the tactical reviews will be better, man. Eric has said, I have facial hair and still ugly is unfortunate. That's you, my guy. That's you, man. You got to hold that up, man. Man said, get a trim. I do need a trim, but I still take your gal, man. Come on, man. A man said, you ain't no Arnold. Calm down, man. A man said, great channel. Deluded, great channel. Do you think Partey and Smith Rowe will be fit for United? I hope so. I really hope so. I really, really hope so. If not, it is what it is, to be without on paper right now, I hope it's the manager playing a bit of managerial games, but to be without potentially Smith Rowe, Partey, Tierney and Aubameyang, it does make our task somewhat harder, people. It does make us somewhat harder. Trust me, bro, 30, 40K a week is looking light for Bukayo Saka now. It might have to be 100K thing, and that's where we've saved ourselves. Could you imagine if we failed to get the Saka's contract sorted? We'd be going into this season, Willie, won't he? Willie, won't he? There's no way you could keep him because he would have been an England international. He would have continued to play as good as he has, people. So it's quite crazy in that regard. I've completely forgot really to talk about some of the statistics I've come across via Orbino, Opta, and the rest of them, people. I just want to change screen for you guys. Let's zoom in a bit, people. Let's zoom in. So obviously Arsenal in the Premier League this season, and I saw this on William Hill before Christmas, 14 points in 14 games. We've had 16 points in 6 games. So there's been a bit of a resurgence from us. You know me, I'm never going to miss the opportunity for Bukayo Saka propaganda, people. And I've made sure I've copied and pasted and brought every statistic I probably could find across Twitter. Most goals scored by a teenager in the top 5 leagues this season. Is this not the lad that's at Lens on loan from PSG? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is at PSG. Yeah, so he's at Lens. He's doing quite well. I knew my mind weren't playing tricks on me. The only player I don't know here is this American Donny. Fatty's a bad boy. Saka's a bad boy. So is the French Donny, and I'm sure the American Donny is as well. But I don't know too much about him. Is that the guy that's at? Is he in Austria? Or he's at Schalke. So I don't know too much about him, but he's someone I'm going to do my research on, people. He got a hat trick the other day. Matthew Hope. Big up yourself. You can't just be American with that last name. You must be of something of another region as well. But he's raw. He's from Arizona. He's a Texas youth from Cali and that. So big up him anyways. But anyways, we're going off task, people. We're going off task. So yeah, Saka's up there for most goals scored by a teenager. And what? Phil Foden's 20 now. So by automatically, Saka is the best teenager in the league. Saka has been directly involved in 6 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances. As you can see, the statistics are there. Granit Xhaka has now provided as many Premier League assists for Arsenal as Jack Wilshere, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Alex Song. I think I gave Pepe a 9 out of 10 because I think he played well and he matched work defensively. And it was probably a quiet game from Smith Rowe in terms of creativity, but he still buzzed about. But, they both scored high for winning the ball back. They were there for joint high 7 possession regains for Arsenal. They put in a shift, and those are 2 players. Smith Rowe puts himself around and Pepe has, but you wouldn't attribute that. There's statistics you'd probably want to see from your midfielders, central midfielders. No player made more ball recoveries or more interceptions than Smith Rowe against Southampton. So again, if you're looking for the glamorous Smith Rowe, you didn't really see it yesterday, but he did have a good game, as I was trying to tell you lot. More propaganda. The last player to score 5 goals in the Premier League in a single season as a teenager prior to Saka was Nicolas Anelka, people. And we all know Nicolas Anelka had a good career, so hopefully Saka can go and do that. Saka has got 4 goals in his last 6 Premier League starts. So again, we over rely on Saka, but how can you not? He's a terrific player. Saka's goal last night was only the second goal Arsenal have scored from outside the box in the Premier League this season, after Xhaka's free kick, obviously against Chelsea. We need to start clawing points from winning positions, because you're not always going to win playing well. And I think this should be a highlight for room of improvement. Arsenal don't get too many goals back from winning positions, but as you can see here, Arsenal have won their first Premier League match from a losing position since we beat Liverpool last July. Also, in terms of conceding goals in the first half, which we did well to come back from, but something we need to improve on. 65% of Arsenal's goals Arsenal have conceded this season have been shipped in the first half, which is the highest proportion in the league. So these are areas of improvement. Southampton and Arsenal, there's always goals, there's always early goals. And as you can see, there's been 8 goals in the last 5 Premier League meetings in the first 20 minutes between the two sides. Nicolas Pepe hasn't created a single chance from open play in the Premier League this season. I'm not too sure that's true. However, he created 5 chances against Southampton. This is from Orbino. So let's hope he kicks on. And hopefully, again, we can't get gassed off one game. We've seen Pepe play better than this. We've seen him play better in big games. We saw him mash it up in the FA Cup. We've seen him, ironically, he scored a banger against United to get us 3 points. So we've seen this. The ability is there with Pepe. What we need to see is the mentality now and the IQ. Can you perform again in the same way Saka and Smith Rowe can? Don't let it go back to square one, sort of thing. And again, people need to give us credit defensively. We're not all the way there. I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans, away from the data, you wouldn't have us up there in terms of being one of the best defenses in the league. I probably would, but probably not wholeheartedly. Only Manchester City have allowed fewer shots on target against Arsenal, against them in the Premier League than Arsenal. To be fair, we've had 60 shots, and they bought Ruben Diaz. He costs big money, as does Laporte. Clearly, you can see I'm being a bit biased. Again, I give us credit because we do need to better this record, but it was a good, considering we came from behind. Considering I don't feel comfortable playing against Southampton. I'm proud of my boys because we've only won 2 of our last 9 Premier League visits there, losing 3 and drawing 4, and this time we did. Arsenal have conceded 19 goals. I've conceded 19 goals in 19 games. Only in 2 of the last 12 Premier League seasons have Arsenal conceded fewer at the halfway point. So an improving defense and the foundations is first and foremost what we need to do, people. Lacazette, Lacazette's been scoring goals. Lacazette's been scoring away from home. Remember when there was a mad direct contrast between Lacazette bagging away from home and at home? Lacazette has scored 8 goals in his last 12 Premier League away games after going 17 months without netting on the road in the Premier League. So he's probably doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and a confident Lacazette is a dangerous player. He's now scored 4 goals in his last 3 away games in the Premier League, people, for us. 2 of them have been assisted by Bukayo Saka. Nicolas Pepe has scored more goals than Martial this season, despite playing less than half the minutes. Always a bit of one there. Pepe has also scored in his last 2 Premier League starts, which is very good for Pepe, people. Away from that as well, only Nicolas Anelka. Man said Nicolas Anelka. I'm looking up the page. Only Alexandre Lacazette has been involved in more goals for Arsenal in all comps this season than Nicolas Pepe, not Anelka. So you can see it there. Regardless what you say about Pepe, the numbers are there. Arsenal haven't come from behind to win a game against a Premier League side in any competition since beating Chelsea in the FA Cup final. So it was nice to obviously do that against Southampton. Hector Bellerin has been booked more than any other player in the Premier League this season, and Bellerin, a couple mistimed tackles. Arsenal have averaged 16 shots per game compared with 10 shots per game prior to Chelsea. That's translated into 6.4 shots on target per match compared to 3.3 prior. Again, so less aimless dribbling from us. Less aimless crossing, more sort of precision. We've got a long way to go, but you don't shoot, you don't score. It's no coincidence. We're having more shots, we're scoring more goals, we're getting into games, people. So it's as simple as that, essentially, really, really and truly. Apologies why I just make a timestamp note for those of you who ain't watching this. So I'd say that's the timestamp. So boom. That's all there is in that regards there, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I see enough super chats. I'm going to get to them now. Apologies, I did not see them. Obviously, I was reading the statistics to you guys, people. Let's scroll down and see what you guys are saying. Big up yourselves, people. Man said, hello, Chubba. Okay, whatever that means. Where are those thingies, man? Thomas said, super happy with Odegaard. Only criticism is why not do this deal earlier in the month, give him some game time. Now it looks like Smith Rowe is out for Man United. I agree with you, my guy, but we don't know the dynamics. Maybe Odegaard just became available in the last week or so when we was looking for him. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I do agree. The quicker you get a man in, the more he's able to do things. But I'd imagine the bulk of our operations was outgoings first. It was dealing with Ozil to Fenerbahce, Socrates leaving, potentially Mustafi now, finding somewhere for Kolasinac, finding a home temporarily for Saliba, and if we can do any more outgoings. And then it became a case of first getting in a winger, a goalie, and then seeing if we could get a creative midfielder. So I'll cut the club some slack in that regard. Big up yourself, Callum. You said, I really like Pepe, super talented and a really good finisher. Would like to see him as a striker. What do you make of that? To be fair, he could do a lot worse as a striker in that position, but I think the wing is his thing, personally. Callum, love for the super chats, my guys. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. There are some other super chats, man. Not gonna lie, the likes on this live stream is shady at best. Like Dia said, come on, man, pattern that up a bit. There's definitely some more super chats. I saw another super chat. I can't. Where is it? Let's scroll all the way back up because I saw 3. I've spoke to about 2. Let me recover that. Let me go to another tab really quickly for you guys, people, and see what that is saying. Or maybe it was just 2. Oh no, sorry. The other one was from Made in Brooklyn. So yeah, apologies, people. I haven't missed anyone else out. As you can see, I don't like to miss out people them super chat. I appreciate you lot for departing with your hard-earned money. Like C has said, can we get 400 likes, people? Come on, man. Man has said, what do you think of Maitland-Niles and his playing time, bro? Well, he can't listen. I would like to see him get more game time, of course. Typically before the form, Bellerin like Willian was getting luxuries, but Maitland-Niles didn't take his chance in the last game, so he needs to sit on his hands when your opportunity comes, whether that's at left back, right back, or wherever. Make sure you do what you do your thing. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I rate Maitland-Niles. I would rather Maitland-Niles be the first choice right back. I like Cedric. I like what Cedric does. Run of game, Cedric needs to get stronger, keeps getting stronger. For me, with Cedric, my goal for him is, can he continue this? Can he keep it up? Because it's all fun and games. You were shaky against Southampton on Saturday. You was much improved on Tuesday. Can you continue that? Can you continue that? As simple as that. It's as simple as that. We're gonna deal with all them United questions. We're dealing with that tomorrow, man. That's not a score predictions. I don't know. We'll deal with that tomorrow, man. Like Fadi has said, hit the like button, people. It doesn't cost a thing, and it goes a long way to helping the guy, man. Every like means I'm more likely to be shown in someone's recommended. So if you want the DG Nation to keep pushing and growing, you know what you got to do, man. Anyone who ain't sub up now, you lot rise the likes. The ratio is incorrect. Come on, man. Like he said, patting off the ratio. It's not good enough, people. You know what? We're on 434 likes and there's 572 of you. Can we get that to 500 at the very least, people? Come on, man. I don't ask you lot for much. He can play as a striker, but I just don't think it's going to work here because, when you think of Saka, Pepe, at base level, he's a counter-attacking player. That's where his strengths are, So it's not going to happen here, is it? We're not going to play him. We're not going to play that sort of football, in my opinion. So I think the wing thing is for him, but I wouldn't rule it out. I'm open to Pepe playing up front, maybe playing behind the striker, man. Would never donate to any YouTubers. That's good for you, my guy. Not too sure how that helps anyone. What you choose to do with your money is down to you. I mean, somebody give this guy a carrot or a medal or a bunch of chocolates because I don't know what he wanted to make. I appreciate all of you lot. Someone who is willing to donate to YouTubers, I appreciate you for your $5. That's a McDonald's there. He was said, would love to be on one of your shows one time. Great work. You're always doing great work. You're always doing love, man. We can pattern that, my guy. We can pattern that. Big up Sandro. He said, in and out of the chat, been listening at work. I appreciate you, my guy. Maitland is better than Bellerin, but Maitland, I'm not here for all of that. Maitland, if we keep it true, you got your opportunity, you didn't take it. So when you next get your opportunity, please make sure you do your thing. It's as simple as that. Andrew has said, good work, mate. Respect from Australia. Big up all the Aussie Gooners and all the down under ones. He said, it's unfortunate how we've dropped over the years, but this team is looking a lot more promising. Hopefully we get off the roundabout now. Listen, I'm not going to lie. It's how we react to that defeat. Fair enough. We lost to Southampton in the FA Cup. We reacted well, but I want to see how if we go through a negative period, like let's just say a draw's not a bad result against United, but we get a draw and a loss in the next 2 games or 2 draws. I want to see how we bounce back because I need us in bad times to never get too down and always believe in our qualities. And in good times, let's not get complacent. That's like in life. When everything's going bad, you've got to always think there's light at the end of the tunnel, or at least I do. When everything's going good for me, it's not that I'm wondering where's the bad thing. I'm looking over my shoulder. It's like, listen, let me stay humble. Let me, and these things there. It's about balance and all of these sort of things, man. Stunner has said we need to unleash the cannon on United. Hopefully we can, man. Hopefully we can. What else we got? Big up everyone. How do you think we will stifle Pogba and Bruno? Very difficult. Very difficult. I think the one way you can stop them is first and foremost defending well, limiting the space. Also, I do want to press United, but I'm keen to see if they beat that press, we're in trouble on the counter. Logically, if you press and you disallow Harry Maguire and these players from finding Bruno and Pogba, then like you see at Arsenal, these are going to have to drop deep and go into roles and things like that sort of thing. So we'll have to see. But I think that's how you can go against it. But it's easier said than done. 2 terrific footballers. Dermot Doyle, I don't know who pays him to come in this chat and say people, but I appreciate the love, my guy. Big up yourself. Always locked in. And obviously, Big Celt is always here. 2 people I always look for. 51 likes missing still. Let's go, guys. Come on, let's get that one up there. Sia said, no need to spam. He will see your comment. Who is spamming off the thing? Zion Dons has said, love your content, bro. Hey, you just called me Akpom, man. Allow me. What have you said? Love your content, bro. What position would we need for the summer window? Well, I'm surprised you asked me, my guy, because at the same time, it's like it's what everybody already knows, my guy. It's like for me, midfield, there's not really a partner for Partey. I would like to see Saliba come back and give him game time, but again, is there a partner for Gabriel? I know Gabriel ain't the flavor of the month right now, but realistically, he is our best centre half. Again, I want to see somebody lock down right back. Like Cedric is doing well at fullback. But I could also say Bellerin's had spells there where he's played well. Maitland-Niles, and all of those guys have showed shaky moments and all patchy moments. I want somebody to lock it down. There's 3 men competing for one spot, and there isn't one really where I'm gonna say, yo, you're the guy. So for me, the challenge would be to lock it down. If not, we have to review right back. Clearly, left back, there's a problem. So yeah, I'd say them areas. How can I forget Rashford? The guy asked me about Pogba and Bruno, but earlier in this stream, I mentioned, United are one of the best counter-attacking sides. And like I said in the Southampton review, if you give some of those opportunities to Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, etc., we'll be made to pay. So yeah, man. Therefore, can't forget about Rashford. I can forget about him, especially because of the great work he's doing off the field as well for people then, man. Aston Oliver has said Leno's kicking was dodgy yesterday. Now, I'm one of Leno's harshest critics when it comes to playing out from the back and all of these things. But I think in the last few games, his distribution has actually been very good. But fair play, we all see the game differently, and I value your opinion, people. What else are we missing? What have you said? Bro, once again, sorry, Captain, but that's one for tomorrow's live stream. And after that, man, right now we're just dealing with what we're dealing with, such sort of thing, people. Underrated, not gonna lie. Hope you're talking about me. If not, apologies, man. I'm gutted Martinelli didn't come on as well, my guy. But at the end of the day, it's football, innit? We have to do what we need to do. He never played, man. It is what it is in that regards. Big up the Aussie Gooners as well. Do you want Basuma? I want Basuma or another number 6, because if Partey's not there, we're in trouble. Partey can play a ball forward, but primarily he is there to win the ball back for us. I think we need someone that we can play with Partey, so that if there's games where we're not going to dominate the midfield, we've got some grit. Equally, if Partey cannot be involved for whatever reason, that guy can step in, sort of thing. But I go back to you, John. I'm gutted Martinelli's not there, but it's a squad game. Brittany has said, thoughts on Pepe's hunger? Has it reignited? I think I've seen a hungry Pepe from the Newcastle game he played, people. It's just about those moments when you're meant to pass, find that pass. When you're meant to score, find the back of the net. It's just about that, keeping things simple, going back to basics. He kind of kept it somewhat simple in that game. I was upset he never got to play 90 minutes, but he did look knackered and whatnot. So yeah, I did think him and Lacazette was going to be subbed, people, and Lacazette did well to stay on, and he deserved to stay. And it just looked like he was absolutely knackered, absolutely knackered. What else have we got? How big an impact do you think Odegaard will make, DG? It's up to him. I want to see him hit the ground running, get goals and assists. So I'm hoping a big impact, but it's up to him. These 5 months are what he makes of it, really and truly. Does he want to leave with his head held high at Arsenal, or does he want to kind of continue what's been going on with Ceballos, sort of thing? With all due respect to Ceballos has barely grabbed the balls by the horns. Big up yourself, the Trinidad Gooners, man. I appreciate you. Jesse, big up yourself. You said big up DG. I'm glad we got Ødegaard. He can bring an addition to Arsenal. I hope he can be on the bench versus United. I'm no Arsenal man in the sense of I don't work for Arsenal, but I think he will be. He will be. Bro, AM, it don't cost nothing, man. It don't cost anything, man. You can just scroll back in. Your support means the world. You're always locked in. You're always going to be here on time, my guy. Bro, David Luiz, I'm not going to get at David Luiz because, ironically, me and Harry were bigging him up in my live stream before, obviously, the game yesterday. But we're at where we're at with David Luiz, sort of thing, we're at where we're at. We know sometimes he's going to boss it. You might get the David Luiz that didn't train in the build-up to the FA Cup final. We might get the one that switches off playing out from the back, makes these mistakes. Yesterday, he was moving a bit mad, in all honesty. I think David Luiz was probably the one I feel was off the pace the most, really. And again, I think David Luiz will probably keep his spot going into the United game. But if Marie was fit, or if he gets fit, there could be problems, or maybe Thingy could be back in, people. Or maybe what's his face could be back in. Gabriel, we'll have to see, people. I would love to go toe to toe with United. I think that's the best way. But again, the counter attack. Big up everybody locked in, people. I like I'm not sure about that. I do like Anguissa. I think he's done. Didn't he used to be at Villarreal or something like that as well? Bro, Callum Hudson-Odoi is a baller. I hope he gets more or better time of things under Tuchel than he did under Thingy, under Lampard. I think he's a baller. He just needs a bit of time, man. Really, he just needs a chance. He just needs an opportunity, man. Stylish, you saying Holding is looking sturdy. I can't lie, he's looking like the Holding before he got injured at United. Facts. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with Thingy, what's happening with Reece Nelson, but I'd love to see him either go out on loan or get more of an opportunity. George has said, when will we see another collab with Harry/DG again? Absolutely love that combo. Need to coming soon. It'll be on his channel next. We're talking. When his schedule, he's a busy guy. When his schedule's free, he's gonna shout me, and we'll take it over to his channel, man. We'll take it over to his. Quickly, people, because I'm gonna forget people, and I said we need to look at this at the start. I don't want to put a downer on things. But I think we just, bro, this guy's a wrongin', fam. Like, again, I don't want to put a downer on things, but bro, what's all of this about? As you lot can see, I don't know who this Donny is. He's his friend, but former Arsenal player, youth player Tyrell Robinson jailed for sexual activity with children. First and foremost, jail is. Listen, I wouldn't wish jail on anyone, but jail is where these sort of men need to be, and also I'd say that's even too easy. For me, if you're going to be in jail, they need to be given a brick wall, a brick and a hammer, and they're chained to that brick and a hammer, and they literally are hitting that brick and hammer until their back gives way day in, day out. Definitely, I think, death should be the only way for people that, rape and touch up children and all of these crasses sort of things, people, but if not, I think prison is too much. It's too easy for him. The only benefit I could say is he's probably on the vulnerable prisoners wing. You can't hide forever. Someone he's a wrong and do him in. Probably the screws will do what they need to do. Absolute wrong, and you're a fucking footballer, bro. You're a footballer. You play for Arsenal and Brentford. You can get all heap of girl, all heap of grown women. Instead, you want to go and get little girls that are their bodies are developing. They're 14 and immature and naive, and you want to kind of do that. This what means you're just more fucked up in many ways than one. Absolute bullshit. Nasty, man. And like I said, to see he's only got 3 years, people. Other people that are doing, again, the system protects the like similar folk, I guess. But 3 years, people, a year and a half will be out here. Absolute wronging, people. Absolute wronging, man. Listen, I hope he burns in hell, really and truly. His football career is done. Is what it is, but it's a duty to speak about these things, people. A former Bradford City footballer has been jailed for having sex with an underage girl, and taking a photograph for his friend in bed with the other two. Long story short, I try not to make this graphic, but his friends had a threesome with two 14-year-olds, and my man's most. And it's actually disgusting, people. It's absolutely disgusting. Again, I'm not going to read it all out because it's making me mad, but apparently, they were giving them alcohol. They were clearly chilling at a yard, giving them alcohol to the point where one was violently ill. Obviously, all are unconscious and under the influence of alcohol. When you're 14, you don't really know, you ain't really been exposed to that. You can see why. So it's just, for me, the sickest thing is, man, are calculating this. You're calculating to do this. You, man, are speaking, are speaking about doing this. You're sick. Need help, bro. 3 years for this. People, 3 years. I can see you going mad. 3 years, One of them got violently ill. Robertson from, I can't even say that, South Ockpendon, Essex, admitted having sex with one of the girls in his bedroom after he and Barman met up with them. He also took a photo of Barman in bed with two other girls and shared it with him. So they're waste, man. Rather than go out and get grown women and do the threesome business with them and all whatever they want to do, they want to go for young girls and almost... It's rape, bro. Like it's rape, it's pedophilia, it's everything that deserves hellfire, and your life shouldn't be a thing. You're wasting life because you've probably ruined these girls now. Your sentence is done in it. I know they'll probably be on the sex offenders list for life, but you've ruined these girls forever now. You've ruined. So when that 14-year-old now, she's having a guy her age, or she's older now, and there's a guy who wants to get with her and be her husband or whatever, she's gonna have insecurities and stuff. So you've ruined her relationships. You've probably ruined her relationships with all men, maybe even her family members. You've ruined her trust. You've probably ruined who she was personally. She's probably not the same old little girl she was to her friends or her mum and all of these things. Absolutely sickening. But again, it's really hard to sit here and read this to you guys, people, but it needs to be done because we live in a crisis world where nonsense like this is happening, people. His friend admitted to having to police that he had sex with them. The court heard They'd been given alcohol and had little to no recollection of the events, and obviously, like I said, have been violently ill after. The court also heard barman from Thurrock in Essex had sex on 2 other occasions with one of the girls at Robertson's flat while the footballer was away. So there is, this is sick and calculated. You're doing wrong and you've done it multiple times, so you thought you could get away with this fuckery. The judge people, and again, I'm someone who doesn't really like law systems. I don't like the system. I don't like police. I've never been certain things, but the way they deal with me, even just recently, I really told you, look, with the handcuffs, just by being an innocent black youth, I don't really have much love for the system. I don't love the system, but man like this need to be in the system. Man like this need to be in the system. These guys deserve to just be, like I said, for me, I'll make you do manual labor. I'll tie you up. I will tie your leg up and your arm up to a chain. I'll give you a hammer or something. There's a big boulder. Each and every day, you just have to hit that boulder. Hit it, and from morning to evening, you're hitting that boulder until your back gives up. I want you to beg to die, I want you to beg to die. Hopefully he gets hot watered and sugared and whatnot, man. Again, doesn't deserve it. Hopefully the Govs will probably stick him up, really. And as you can see here, people, apparently, he went on to say something, but I was reading a bit more of I was reading other articles that were a bit more in detail, people, and they were saying things like, the boys were joking between each other and saying, what are we pedophiles now, and language like that. So they knew they was doing wrong. Also, when obviously Robertson got grabbed, apparently he tried to blame it on his friends. So 2 wrongings, man. 2 wrongings. And the thing is, they're going to be out in a piece. They'll be on the sex offenders list for life. My man's lost his ever playing football again, really. Like, you ain't playing football again, you dirty cunt. Absolute wronging, bro. Absolute wrong. Let's see. Look, he joked and stuff, people. In fact, I'm not even trying to glorify it. Well, clearly I'm not trying to glorify this. I don't even want to speak about it, but I'm trying to fight. Look, it is a pedophile jokes. Like I said, people, forget this newspaper as well. But again, the pedophile jokes, like you're seeing here, people. Bro, I feel like a pedo. You are a pedo. You are a pedo. You are a pedo. Absolutely wronging people. But there was also ones where, look, promise me you won't say anything. What kind of nastiness? And there was actually one where he said something like, you're nice, but your age and stuff. You can get grown women. This is why you're messed, because you might not even like grown women's bodies. You might like little children and things. I was having this conversation with my friend, and I was saying, nah, he's clearly them guys. Them guys there, they can't get girls their own age. They're on that sort of stuff in it. They're going for these impressionable girls who they kind of seem as naive and easy. You don't know what it is. But then my guy was like to me, nah, and I was like, he's on a control thing as well. My friend was like to me, nah, I hear that, you're right, but on the other hand, you have to look at it with these sort of men and say, yo, they might not, they literally might be attracted to little women's bodies. Like, they're actually attracted to children. So it's crazy. And you're right, man. His parent, bro, he's drew out his whole family. This guy was bro, I don't remember this guy's age, but I'm pretty sure some of the young players I talk about and whatnot, he's in and around them at Arsenal. So he's making them look bad. Any guys that was friends, you don't really know what your friends are doing behind closed doors, but any of his friends, they're looking booky now. Pedos clearly chill with pedos because he was chilling with his pedo brethren, but now he's drew out his family. He's drew out his mother. Bro, he's drew out everybody. It's crazy, fam. It's crazy. Like, you deserve everything. And look at him, you absolute cunt, bro. And this is his Don as well. His Don looks like a wrongness. Look at you lot, bro. You don't need to be doing this. You man are young men, footballer. I don't know what my man is doing. This how I know you ain't. This how you know you're nasty. I know you ain't got no game, nothing, and you're just a weirdo. You've been on this from day then, and a man like this is. I have to say it. How many times has he probably done this? This might just be the first people who spoke up, the first people who decided to talk, sort of thing. How many times, how many girls they probably chatted to, and they're like, no, don't say nothing, and they ain't said nothing. Society don't need these guys. He's lucky he don't live in Jamaica or a third world nation, bro. Because these man here, see them man there, you need to tie them up, dash some tires over them, and you lot know the rest, people. Look at the fuckery. I don't understand how come you look so pretty when you're 14. Nastiness, people. It's crazy, man. Nasty cunt. And apparently in the time of another article actually said in the time of this guy actually being sacked last year, he's actually pocketed 100k, so he's gonna be all right in his life. Hopefully you can't walk through the streets of wherever he's from. Hopefully you can't walk the streets of Essex too nice. Look at you, you're gonna be lunch meat in jail as well, just on top of being a nonce. Look at you, look soft as well. Soft you, bro. I hope they make your life hell in there. I hope they make your life hell in there, people. As you can see here, he's been at West Brom, he's been at Bradford. He's, he had a lot of good things going for him, bro. Before he was doing his nastiness, he made 28 appearances for the club and started 13 times in the league. Dash this guy in the thing, man. Dash this guy away, bro. You got to dash this guy away, man. Let's say on this nonce the better, man. Anyways, let's not end this on that sort of note, man. What sort of football-related questions, man? I don't know anything about Bradford. Trust me, soft you, bro. He's gonna get it, fam. He's gonna get it, bro. Them man there, 9 times. Not that I don't want to speak about things, but the Govs will let them man there on. If they slip, he's got to be on the VP wing, riding voluntary bang up. Because the minute he steps out his cell, it's long for Donny. Absolutely long, people. Absolutely long, bro. He's tapped, man. He has to be cracked. He's tapped. And bro, that's what pisses me off. He's actually played for Arsenal Football Club. It's nothing to do with Arsenal. It's nothing to do with his family. This is all the individual, but he's made everybody look robbed, man. Mentally damaged, bro. Fire shot for them, man, there, man. That's it, man. They don't want girls their own age. They want little girls that they can control and got the young bodies and all of these sort of things, man. Bro, cut off everything, man. Lock it all off. Lock it all off. You don't want to live. Bro, I hear what you say about God correcting them, man, there, but God can forgive them, and them need to just do what they need to do to him, and God can forgive as much as he wants with all due respect to the high and mighty. But, bro, there's some man, it's not a judgment day thing. He needs to get crashed off today. Crashed. Absolutely crashed. Absolute cunt. Anyways, moving away from that, people. Is there any other Arsenal sort of news? Man said punch the like if you'd like to punch that guy, man. Something like that. Bro, he's probably going to a specialist nonce jail. If not, he's going to be on the nonce wing. And obviously his case, I don't know if it's high profile, but you're probably not going to be able to get to him. You can't hide forever, so someone probably is. Hopefully it's done, people. Anyways, moving away from that, Sia said, what would your plans be for Maitland-Niles at the end of the season? He can still get back in the team, but if he's not playing on a regular basis and he's still a stopgap, then I think the writing's on the wall. He probably needs to keep it moving, really. Josh, he did rip him up. Pepe ripped him up, but I'd say Shaw's been one of the best performing United players that ain't necessarily been getting the credit when I'm watching United. So it's going to be a different game. Any news on Balogun's contract? To my knowledge, no. I've just accepted he's leaving until I see anything else. Bro, man, and get longer for being in Conch. Half the system, half these judges are on that same ish as well. But let's keep it football, man. You don't know me for football. Man said, I've met this guy, he's a decent guy before this PS. That's just proof you don't know anybody. Come on, he ain't no decent guy if you're doing a fucking like this. Big footballer, and you're doing this. Waste, man. Absolute waste, man. Please stop spamming. Yo, bro, can we collab? Really want to share my views. I can DM you and sort something out. We can in the future, my guy. Just sit back and hold tight and let's see what we can do. I don't know too much about you or if you make content, so we'll have to see. But the members will be the first ones coming on initially. Please stop spamming though, bro. Ski. Trust. Bro, the country's too lenient on fuckery, man. It's too lenient on fuckery. But let's move back to football, man. Let's keep it a football thing. To be fair with you, I do agree. He hasn't been given an opportunity. He's been a jack of all trades, master of none, really. Thoughts on Lukaku versus Ibra? Well, that sounded serious. Man are cussing mums. Man are saying they'll do this to your girl and your mum and your wife. It was crazy. Can't lie. If they was to have a real Terry punch up, I think Lukaku eats him alive. I think people gas up this Zlatan-ish too much, but Zlatan's my guy. So it is what it is. Gundogan's doing a lot, and it's not being spoke of, man. He's scoring goals. He's a baller. The way he's scoring some actual great finishes. So what can you say other than Gundogan's a baller and he's showing the world what he's on? Garcia to Arsenal. We've spoken about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I prefer Balogun to Eddie as well, but if both of them need to leave, then it is what it is. Ibra is an old man. He wouldn't stand a chance against Lacazette. Nah, you got to remember, Zlatan knows martial arts. So I think it'll be a good fight. I just feel people move like Zlatan in Scarface. He's a human that bleeds like everyone. What? Ibra was racist, though. It pissed me off. Tried to mention Juju, but flopped and call it voodoo. Again, I don't know that. Let's be wary. Let's be wary of calling a man racist and all of these sort of things without knowing. You'll have to see. What do you think is happening with Oba? I don't want to speculate on a man's personal on a man's personal life. Simple as that. I don't know. But whatever it is, I hope he gets through. I don't know. Do you always watch Arteta's press conferences? Yeah, I like to see what he said. I like to see what he's saying. I'm sure you can. Hey, if you're a boxer, come let DG be the promoter in it. Black Eddie Hearn settings and let's make some cash. I would love to see Amari Hutchinson being such, but it remains to be seen, man. I don't think anyone rates Bellerin. I'm just saying Bellerin plays better with Saka than Saka and Pepe, personally. That's all I say. I don't think anyone rates Bellerin personally. This is what I'm saying, man. Rock up them youths there, man. But anyways, they shouldn't be fighting, man. They're two former teammates. I know football makes man move mad, but I'm sure when it's both said and done, Lukaku's probably saying I was moving mad. Ibra's probably saying he's mad. It's two lions in the jungle. It's water for ducks back in it. You know, they both should just allow it now, innit? It is what it is in that regards, man. We don't know what it is with his family. We don't know what specifically is. And to be fair, even if your family is going through things, you can still post. So again, I don't want to be speculating on things, people. Man are saying 496 likes, 423 watching. Come on, people. Only a few likes to go. Come on, hit the like button, people. I'm busting out when we get to 500. So maybe that was the wrong thing to say because, man, I'm not going to hit it. Oh, we're at 526. We're doing all right, aren't we? We're doing all right. It's looking all right today, people. But anyways, couple more questions. Nelson or Willock to go out on loan. I think logically they both need to go out on loan. I would personally keep Joe because we need bodies. We ain't got too many in midfield. As you saw, Smith Rowe and Partey might even be injured. So we need bodies if we're not going to bring somebody in. Nelson, I'd rather keep him at the club than Joe. I think he could get game time at the expense of Willian, but I think Nelson needs to go out on loan either to the Prem or to the Championship for these 5 or 6 months. And try and do what you can. Lookman is a super eagle now. You're talking about Lookman choosing to represent the green and white of Nigeria. I think that's a good coup for them. And I think especially because of his form, he deserves it, people, really and truly. He's come a long way from that stupid penalty. Done a madness. How do you rate Arteta's turnaround of form since the end of 2020? You know, it's been superb. You know, we was all ready to say, yo, Arteta, what's going on? It's been quality. And I think I've got to give credit to Arteta for going back to basics. I'm seeing in an attacking sense, we're still not all the way there yet, but at least I'm seeing some sort of plan versus aimless crossing. Clearly, he's thought about what's the word? He's thought about maybe some things he was doing wrong, and the players have also. You got to give credit to the players for fixing up, sort of thing. Time will tell if it can happen, man. To be honest, I think Pepe is the only, you know, I do agree with you. He's not had fullbacks. He's not really had an opportunity to play consistently. There's a lot of luxuries you can give Pepe. But at some point, you've got to look at yourself. And I think Pepe hasn't done it. But you're right, man. Bellerin don't take on a man. When you take on a man as a right back, you take someone with you. And that opens up more space for Pepe. People, pardon me. Little burp there. Do you think Xhaka and Partey sitting is gonna last as a good partnership? You know, they're all right, but I would like to see another midfielder for Partey being brought in. You see DT throwing shade at Troops. Big up Troops. I don't know for any of that sort of stuff, though. I'm focused on myself and what Deluded has to do. Any drama that doesn't concern me isn't drama I need to be partaking in. Just focus on DG. One more question in, people. Come on, man. I don't want to do you lot dirty. One more question. Come on, man. Bro, giving man 2 for 1 nutmegs, just duppying, man. This is what I'm saying with Pepe. We know he's got the ability, but for me, ability is nothing. Plenty of players got ability. It's the IQ. Obviously, there's Bear, man. You know, I'm not saying they're of the level than Pepe or Pepe is worse than them, but there's a Dharma. There was previously Delafeo. There's Pepe. There's Saint Maximin at Newcastle. These are all good players. These are all players where, as a fullback, I wouldn't want to play against none of them. But what has stopped them from being at top clubs or being a top player? It's the decision making. It's shooting when you need to shoot, passing when you need to pass. That sort of clarity there. That's what takes them to the next level. I am staying out of that, but it's like, man, I'm even mad, you know. Again, I'm not involved in that. I'm just focused on DG and that. But you know what I'm saying, man, I'm even a bit mad in the thing there, man. the secret scout. You know, big up my guy, secret scout, but I'm not him. Hugh said, big up DG, a real one, not a part of the fake drama, just a good YouTube. Thank you very much. Listen, I don't get paid to be in drama. The most I do is do up the boxing matches if there's enough paper involved. Pepe could be the Ivorian Leroy Sane. I hope so. Probably punching a bit. Whole chicken wings or cut party size wings. Whole chicken wings, man. Proper things we are dealing with. I don't know what you're on. Guendouzi swap for Draxler, dead. You know, Draxler's a good player, dead. I'd rather just make peace for Guendouzi. Small hope that bygones can be bygones. He can come back into the team, but realistically, it's a myth. He will leave in the summer, in my humble opinion. If you could sell Joe Willock for 10 mil, would you take it? Probably not. Probably a 15, 20, and I'm probably bugging out to think I can get that. But the English premium should do a madness. Will Odegaard make a change at Arsenal? He can't do it alone, but I hope he can. I hope he can give us some stronger options and whatnot. A man said, I'm sacking off a DT lesson to watch this stream. Stay in school, man. Stay in school. But if you're going to do it, make sure you pre-DG. Jacka said, what do you think of Lopez in the academy? He's decent. He's coming into his own. Need to see him get a bit, you know, take his game up a higher level. Marking needs to improve, but he's doing all right. Don't know if he's going to make it here, but he's doing all right. He's doing all right. To be fair, listen, Xhaka, this is at best what you get with Xhaka. And I don't mind Xhaka being a squad player if he plays like this. I just think we need someone that is off Partey's level. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Thoughts on? I've already spoken about that. How confident you feeling about Saturday? Well, it's Thursday right now, so well, it's Wednesday. Apologies. See, that's how you know I'm not confident. I don't even know what day it is, my guy. So it's Wednesday right now. Let's deal with that in the preview tomorrow and whatnot. Let's deal with that. Hey, check out the 3 Points podcast. Big up yourself, my guy. I hope you're well. When do you see Gabriel coming back into the first 11? I'd like to see it happen now, but where Gabriel's been shagged is that he's you know, he's clearly rusty, and we've got people moving better than him. You know, David Luiz prior to last game doing his thing. Marie's injured, been doing his thing. I personally would bring Gabriel back in for United. I'd go Holding. You know, Marie's not a thing. At least we're led to believe Marie's not a thing. So I'd go Gabriel and Holding. I think David Luiz kind of concerned me in that game there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is what it is. Thoughts on Aziz? What thoughts are there to have other than the man's a baller? Once he, you know, improves defensively, I think nothing will stop him. And I firmly expect in the next 12 to 18 months him to get more of a look in at Arsenal within the first team setup. And then it's just down to him to take it. Other than that, would you go back for Peglioso? No, he might be developing, but no, I don't think he's going to help us at this moment in time. You know, I'd rather get more P's unless you're going to swap and get a half decent player. You know, someone has said, I think Clark and Matt Smith have been amazing on loan. Do you think they have a chance when they are putting in a performance every week? I agree. You know, Clark got an extension to his Oldham contract. He's doing quite good. Matt Smith, he's probably gone off the ball in recent weeks, but that's natural when you're playing to his high standard consistently. They've had good loans. It's difficult because Harry Clark can play fullback, but again, at centre half, we're quite congested. I know people have left, so maybe Matt Smith, we've got hell of midfielders. But then again, you know, he did win the FA Cup. He was on the bench towards the end, so you never know. But personally, if I was both of them, I'd look to definitely for Smith, I'd look to leave permanently, because once you get one taste of football, you can't go back personally, but it is what it is in that regards, man. Man said, what's wrong with your mods blocking me for nonsense reasons? I don't know why they blocked you, moderators. Beyond is calm. He's calm. He's calm. So allow him. He's exempt from the blocking business. Don't know what they're on. I don't know what they're on. What happened to that Wellington Silva? You just didn't develop. And I think he actually scored the other day back in Brazil. So I think that's that in relation to him, people, really. I think he could, but I'd rather want to play that in games like West Brom or games where we're going to have, or Palace, where we're going to have the bulk of possession. You know, games against United and whatnot. It's good. It sounds good on paper, but we need a bit more skill and ingenuity and all of those sort of things. So I would say that. So yeah, man. Someone said best at Arsenal. I'm going to assume you mean best player. For me, it's between Martinelli and Saka. Everybody on their day. I think it's Aubameyang, obviously, because of the goal scoring he's been given. For me, Partey, obviously, as well. Man said, hey, DG, you got any insight on if we have some talented young talents in the academy that could step up? There are. Joel Lopez is good. I don't think he's good enough right now to step in tomorrow and do a job. But yeah, that's it. Man said, would you take a prime Messi? Would a prime Messi take us? Bro, I don't mind Xhaka, but it's the same old, man, with Xhaka. It's like the Xhakas, the David Luizes, the Bellerins, bare hot and cold, man. I can't put my heart on that you're going to perform over 38 games. You might play good for 5, dodgy for another 5. Simple as that. Would you sell Bellerin? I think 2-2 is probably going to keep it moving for the right offer. I'd sell Bellerin again if we get to in May and I'm not convinced with any of the right backs as I aren't right now. I like Cedric, I like Maitland-Niles. I've got time for Bellerin, but none of them have really sealed that right back spot and made it their own. That's what I want to see. If they do that, nothing else. Big up the Twitch gang as well. What have you said? Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Partey, or Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard. Choose one. I'd probably lean towards the second one. I'd rather play the first option you said, but I think the second one's a bit more balanced, sort of thing. So I'd probably go there, to be fair with you. Chilwell or Tierney. I'm obviously going to go with my man Kieran Tierney. Big shout. There's some truth in that, really. And look how Glenn Kamara's developed. I'm sure he was at Dundee before Rangers, or he was somewhere before Rangers. And look how he's got. It could be an option, Give Rangers some players. I'm all for loaning players anywhere, as long as they get games, man. Joshua said, I wish I could meet you one day and have a football debate. I feel we disagree with a lot of things, which I love. Fair play to you. And that's what makes football the greatest of games, people, really, Smoke that like button, people. Please hit that like button. Man said Thierry Henry or Dennis Bergkamp. Listen, I'm a 95 baby. I know Dennis Bergkamp's a great player, and I did obviously see how good he was. But for me, Thierry Henry is everything. Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira are everything. And I can't lie, Ashley Cole as well. But them two would be there, man. To be fair with you. I don't think he's had a fair crack at things. I think it's a mixture of things. I don't think he's had a fair crack. I don't think he took the minimum opportunities he has. Thoughts on Chelsea / Lampard? I've already offered that. I did a live stream yesterday, man. Man said, Mo, you probably got to go to some other YouTubers for them ones there, but leave it at Aziz or Guendouzi. Aziz is younger and he's from Haylen, so I'm going to have bias, but they can both develop. And they're both curly-haired centre midfielders, which in the modern game is coming like a requirement. So both of them, my guy, both of them. You said, what's our aim for the season to the season end, bro? Simply just to finish as high as possible. Simple as that. It's as simple as that, really and truly. On that note, though, I'm going to get out of here. We've been here for an hour and 40 minutes. I've loved being here, but got to keep it moving, people. I'd like to eat my breakfast biscuit as well. And I've got some other content to be formulating for you guys. So on that note, please hit the like button. People, DG, I'm out.